My boss threatened that non-compete means you don't touch a keyboard for a year. I just smiled. In the deposition for his lawsuit against me, their own lawyer read a new state employment statute aloud. He stopped, looked at his client with dawning horror, and whispered, "When exactly did you fire her?" I was 31 when they started erasing me from Apex Digital Systems. Not with a pink slip or a meeting, just slowly, like I was a stain they were hoping would fade on its own. Derek, the 26-year-old infrastructure lead who still asked me what DNS stood for, got my projects. Devin, our CTO, who hadn't touched a terminal in 4 years, took credit for my architecture designs in board meetings. I'd spent 3 years holding their systems together with duct tape and caffeine while they treated me like office furniture. The check-in came on a Wednesday. Devin cornered me in the fishbowl conference room where everyone could watch. "You've plateaued here, Sarah. No offense." Translation: "We want you gone, but we're too cheap to pay severance properly." They didn't fire me that day. Instead, they did something worse. They kept me around for 2 more weeks, making me train Derek on systems I'd built. I watched him sit in my chair, eat my snacks, and ask me to explain things I'd already documented. HR ghosted me. My manager minimized spreadsheets when I walked by. I went home each night and opened a folder I'd labeled insurance. Inside were screenshots, emails, Slack messages, Git logs, everything showing Devin stealing my work, everything showing Derek was incompetent, and buried at the bottom, my original employment contract from 3 years ago. One clause caught my eye. Employee termination shall include full severance documentation within 72 hours of formal notification. It had been 9 days since Devin's check-in. No paperwork, no severance terms, just awkward hallway smiles, and my name disappearing from emails. That's when I remembered something I'd skimmed in a tech newsletter. Ohio had passed new employment laws, something about severance delays creating legal complications for companies. I started researching late into the night, and what I found made me smile for the first time in weeks. When they finally fired me on day 12, Devin was confident, smug even. He slid a non-compete across the table. "Sign this. That non-compete means you don't touch a keyboard for a year." I read it carefully, signed it, smiled. 3 weeks later, I launched my own platform using completely original code I'd written on my personal time. It did everything Apex's system did, but better because I'd actually built theirs too. Within days, Apex sent a cease and desist. Then came the lawsuit. The deposition was in a sterile conference room downtown. Devin showed up in an expensive suit, looking like he'd already won. Their lawyer, a guy named Patterson, had a stack of papers proving I'd violated the non-compete. My lawyer, Maria, looked bored. She let them talk for 45 minutes. Patent infringement, breach of contract, trade secrets. Patterson was building his case brick by brick. Then Maria spoke. "Mr. Patterson, are you aware of Ohio Senate Bill 47, which passed on March 15th? Just humor me and read Section 3C aloud." Patterson frowned, but complied. His voice filled the room. "Any employer who delays severance documentation beyond 7 calendar days forfeits enforceability of all restrictive covenants, including non-compete agreements." The room went silent. I watched it happen in slow motion. Patterson's eyes went wide. He looked down at his notes, then at Devin. His face went pale. "Mr. Reeves," Patterson said slowly, voice shaking. "When exactly did you fire her?" Devin blinked. "March 22nd. Why?" Patterson closed his folder. "The statute became law on March 15th. You fired her March 22nd. You didn't provide severance documentation until April 3rd. That's 12 days. Devin still didn't get it. So Patterson looked at his client with something between horror and rage. "So your non-compete is worthless. We have no case." I didn't say a word. I just smiled. By morning, they dropped the lawsuit. By Friday, Devin was stepping away to focus on his health. By next month, my platform had 4 major clients. Turns out when you're too arrogant to follow the law, you don't just lose. You hand your competition everything they need to bury you.